Welcome back to my channel. We are in the spare bedroom today. This is the fourth bedroom of my house, and I'm going to be turning this room into a room for my 5-year-old daughter today. I have a really cute theme picked out, and I just cannot wait to see it all together. I have a really beautiful vision in my head. And just to remind you why this couldn't be her room sooner than it has is because whenever I moved back into the house, Corey was really sick. He was in the hospital a lot. I mean, he was probably in the hospital more than he was out of the hospital. That first time that he went in, he was in there for months. So with him being sick, the house was just too much for him, and he could not keep up with it. And I also needed a home. I was on the market for a home. And so he had asked me if I wanted the house back. That way the kids could keep their home, because this is their home. This is where they've grown up most of their childhood this far. And so it was really important to me and to Corey that they keep their home. And so I ultimately decided to come back to the house. So what happened is all of his personal belongings got put here in this bedroom, and that's where they've been this whole time. So that's what I've been doing this week, is going through this bedroom, and I chose not to share that just to honor his privacy, because it was all of his personal belongings, and it was also just a private, emotional moment for me and the boys to sit down together and decide what was important, what we wanted to keep. We obviously couldn't hang on to everything. I'm gonna try not to cry now, but there was a lot of tears shed, and I kind of feel like some wounds that were beginning to heal have been reopened, and salt has been poured in them. Kind of been avoiding doing this room because of that reason, because I knew there was a lot of memories packed in here. It was completely filled out in here. You couldn't even walk in the door, chest high stuff. But we kept some of his military uniforms. The boys will get one set each of those. He had several. I kept his boots. I put those next to the picture in my bedroom. We kind of just picked what mattered most to us. But now that I have crossed that bridge, it was a really hard bridge to cross, but now that I'm across that, I'm going to turn this into a room for my 5-year-old daughter. She is a girly girl, and she loves pink and anything with like flowers. So I actually have a really cute idea for this room. She's getting new furniture. We're painting the walls, baseboards. I'm gonna attempt to trim out the window as well, like frame it. The whole nine. I want to completely finish out this room, and that is what I'm going to be doing when I do the boys' rooms as well. Go ahead and just completely finish out everything that's got to be done, everything that I want to do. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started, because I've got my work cut out for me. I've got a lot of prep I got to do today before I can start painting. All right, I got my hammer, my Bluetooth speaker, claw clip, butter knife. We are ready to rock and roll. The first thing I'm gonna do is take all the strips off the wall. I really hate doing this, but in the long-term look that I'm going for, it's gonna look so much better without the strips. So it's a little extra work, but it'll be worth it in the end. Y'all, this stool is still holding up. all of the strips are off. It didn't take me as long as I thought it would. But what I do after the strips are gone, I'll take my my hammer, and I'll beat in all of these nails that are in the wall just so they're not sticking out. So I'll knock them in until they're flush with the wall. And then this is what I use to fill in the cracks. It's joint compound. I get this big thing from Lowe's because I use it quite a bit. So I'll fill them in, and they'll probably have to sit overnight tonight, and then in the morning I'll do it again because it kind of wants to settle down in the seams. And so I usually find myself doing it twice, and then they'll be ready to sand. And then once I've got the walls sanded, I can start painting. So all of the prep does take some time. It's gonna take me today and probably tomorrow to completely get the room prepped. But once the prep is done, the rest of the project should go pretty quickly because it'll just be a matter of getting everything painted. It's just all of that initial prep work. But I've learned over the years with all the projects that I've done, the prep really matters, and it really makes a difference in the end. So you don't want to skip the prep. This prep work, it did take me about 2 days to first remove the strips, and then I did my first layer of joint compound, and then I was able to sand over that, and then I did one more layer to fill in the seams because like I said, it does want to settle down in the seams. So I like to go in with a second coat, and of course it has to dry overnight and all of that good stuff. So this whole process here with the strips took about 2 days. But I'm really glad that I took the time to do this because it really made a difference in the overall appearance of the room. Now, I'm not perfect with any of my projects. I have a lot of flaws and mistakes. If you get up close and personal, you can still see the seams, but at a glance, looking over the room, you can't really notice them at all. And to me, that just makes it look more like an actual house and not a trailer, not a mobile home, which there's nothing wrong with a mobile home at all. I have lived in one all of my life, but it does make it look more homey, like an actual house. Was the next day, and I was getting started sanding. So to save myself some time, I did use my electric sander, which was good and bad. Good because it saved me a lot of time. It was bad because it was super dusty, and the dust was all over my house actually, because I had to leave the bedroom door open to let some of it out because the window in the room does not open at all. I don't know what's wrong with it, but I know that I need some new windows, and that will be hopefully soon in the future. But had I done all of the sanding by hand, it would have taken me a lot longer. So, and I'm speeding through all of this as much as possible. I wanted to capture everything that I did, but cut out all the little mundane stuff. So I did cut out a lot, but I wanted to still get the highlights for you just so you can kind of get a general idea of what I did to the room. This was days of work. It took me about 2 weeks to complete. So even after all the cutting down from all the footage that I took, it still turned out to be a really long video. So just bear with me and trust the process. This turned out to be a very, very beautiful makeover. I think it's by far one of my favorites that I've done yet. And I can't wait now to do the boys' rooms. It's got me really excited to start on theirs. Quite yet start on the walls, but I can go ahead and paint the trim and the doors. I'm going to be painting those with the same color that I painted the rest of the doors and the trim that's in my house. I think the color is called Pure White by Sherwin. So I'm going to give the closet door on both sides and then the bedroom door just on this side, because when we painted the rest of the house, we went ahead and painted the outside of the bedroom door. So just the inside of the door needs it, and then the trim around the top. And I'll also be doing baseboards in her room as well, and I'll be painting those. When I decided to do this makeover, I decided that I was going to go all in and go ahead and do the baseboards, because I actually want to do all of the baseboards in my house myself anyways. So I figured this would be a good learning opportunity for me, a good little practice room, and it actually turned out really good. I'm very, very happy with how the baseboards come out for it being my first time. So we'll be doing that later. Giving the doors and the trim a fresh coat of white paint really gave them a crisp, clean look and made them look brand new again. And yes, this closet door is off the hinges right now, but I do have the pins to reattach it. So I'll be doing that towards the end of the video. Finally, wall painting day. I'm gonna head to Ace and pick up my paint. The color that I chose is called First Light by Benjamin Moore. I wanted a very, very soft, light baby pink for 3 of the walls. One of the walls I'm gonna do like an accent. I'm gonna do Alabaster just because that's what I have on hand, and that was close enough to kind of what I was wanting for that wall anyway. So I'm gonna use Alabaster for one wall, and the rest of the walls are gonna be this First Light color. I will say that it looks a little different than what I saw on Pinterest, but you can pretty much expect that with any paint color. It's always going to look different in your house. It depends on how the light shines through your windows. A lot of factors at play there with paint colors. So it's a little bit darker than I wanted, and I wanted something a little bit warmer, but honestly, I still love how it came out. I think it is a very, very beautiful color. I did not take the time to do paint samples and all of that. I just kind of picked a color and trusted it, and I think that it worked out exactly how it was supposed to in the end. And how I even came to this color was with ChatGPT. So on her accent wall, I ordered flower decals. So I uploaded a photo of those decals to ChatGPT and asked for paint colors to complement those. And it gave me several colors, but this was the one that I loved the most. Oh, and did I mention that we are also going to be changing the light fixture too? I know, I fell on top of the world with this room. I've never in my life changed a light fixture, and I really didn't think that I could do it, but I took the time to learn, and now I have a little more confidence in it, and I look forward to changing more light fixtures in my house in the future. But anyways, back to this color. So I love that she is still young enough to do the soft baby pinks. She's never had a nursery or anything. This is her very first actual bedroom, and so I love that she's still young enough to do the soft baby pinks. She's very much a girly girl. She loves pink. on to the accent wall. So like I said earlier, I'm gonna do alabaster on this wall. Alabaster is what I had on hand already, and I wanted something like that color anyways for this wall because I'm gonna be doing little like flower decals, and I want those to stand out. So I needed a very light background for those flowers, and so I figured like a creamy white would work. And so I just went ahead and went with alabaster. This is the same color that I painted throughout my house. It's what I've got on all of my walls. But this is the first wall that you see when you walk into the room. When you open the door and you're walking in, this is the first wall that you see. So I kind of wanted it to be the focal point of the room. This is also going to be the wall where I put her bed. So the plan for today was to get that painted. I'm going to do 2 coats, and I'm also going to be working on framing out the window today. I wanted to do this to kind of elevate the room a little bit and give it a little more character. So I'm removing all of those little mobile home framing strips that they use, and I'm going to use some 1x3 boards. Also what I'm going to be using for the baseboards, just some simple 1x3s. Right now I'm not really worried about framing out the inside of the window. I'm going to leave what's there, and I'm just going to hang up some boards on the outside frame of the window. I'm definitely not a professional. I'm just a single mama learning as I go. I really love how just adding some simple boards to the outside of the window really elevated the room, I felt like. To the baseboards, you're going to see me attaching some pre-painted white ones, and then you're also going to see me using just raw wood. I had got the painted ones, and I don't know what I was thinking because they weren't long enough to go all the way down the wall, and so I was going to have to do some cutting, and there were going to be some seams. I was going to have to use some joint compound to fill those in. And when I fill those in, I'm gonna also need to paint over them. So I still had to paint them anyways. So lesson learned with that. I thought I was taking a shortcut, but I just was not thinking about having to paint them anyways. But once I had the baseboards down, I did take some caulk, and I'm gonna fill in the tops and the bottoms of the baseboards just to make it look seamless. And I almost forgot to do the top trim as well. So while I had it out doing the baseboards, I went back and filled in the gaps on the top trim. I really should have done this before I painted. It would have been a lot easier, but I just had to be very, very careful not to make a huge mess and keep it very neat and clean. It's like the top trim in this mobile home has started to kind of fall away from the wall. It was actually really bad in some of the rooms when I had moved back into the house. Thankfully, none of it was like falling down in this room, but you could see the gaps. So I got those filled in, and everything is looking seamless and brand new again. Go ahead and hop on over to the accent wall. I was going to show you guys the flowers that I got. I found these on Amazon. They are by the brand called Teddy Labels. They were very, very easy to use. Now, I'm not sticking these to the wall yet. I just cut them out for the time being, and I took some painter's tape, and I just was sticking them to the wall, trying to get a general idea of
the layout of the flowers, and I also ran out before I could finish the entire wall. So I ended up having to order some more, and I didn't film doing this whole wall right now because, as you can see, my camera was going in and out of focus. I'm not sure why it does that sometimes, but I just stuck those all over the wall. Like I said, they're not actually on there yet. They're still on the paper, but I just have them stuck up there with some painter's tape, and when I get the rest of the flowers in, I will actually stick those to the wall. That will actually be done at the very, very last. I didn't even film that, but it will be in all of the last shots that I take of the room. You guys will see the finished product. Now we are moving back to the baseboards. I'm going to give these a coat of the pure white paint that I used on the top trim and the doors. And I just love how these baseboards pulled the room together. I'm so excited to do the rest of my house now, seeing what it looks like with baseboards and just knowing that I can do it. It was not hard at all to cut some boards, and I don't mind that they're just simple 1x3s. I don't need fancy baseboards. Could not get over how good these baseboards turned out. I really wasn't sure with them being 1x3s, and I also really didn't do the corners. I just kind of butted them up against each other, and there's little tiny gaps in each corner because of the wall trim that's in the corners. I didn't take those down. I'm not sure how it would go filling in the seams in the corners with joint compound, so I left those strips and just dealt with the tiny gaps with the baseboards. But I'm going to go ahead and paint this window. I'm just doing the pure white on that as well. I've got some new blinds I want to hang up, and I will officially be done with everything in this room as far as paint and woodworking goes. But I've still got a lot of furniture to put together, so we'll be doing that here in a second. I got her a new bed, a matching dresser, and I also got her an adorable little nightstand. I cannot wait to show you guys. So here in a second, we're going to get started on all of that, and it'll be time to start decorating. That's always my favorite part of any of my makeovers, when I'm able to decorate and pull my vision together. But I think this one was extra fun for me because it was kind of like the little girl in me was coming out. I was having so much fun picking out the decor for this room and just making it a cute, cozy little space for her.
We got nowhere to be, just a slow dance with the summer heat. The world outside can't wait a few, 'cause right now we got nothing else to do. The sun is peeking through the cotton white blinds, your hands still tangled up in mine. Feet on the wall, your head on me, floating easy. We got nowhere to be, got nowhere to be.
Guys, we are getting close here. It is furniture day. Decided to get her all new furniture for her bedroom because I was gonna have to buy her a dresser anyways, and the look that I was going for, I wanted a very specific color of wood, and so I just did matching on the bed and the dresser. And then her nightstand I could not find in that wood color that I was looking for. And even though it doesn't match her bed and her dresser, it still flows with the rest of the room. But first things first, I needed to clean this floor. I wanted to make sure that I got up all of the little paint splatters. There was some joint compound stuck to the floor, and thank goodness these floors are very forgiving. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put down her rug. I wanted a comfy space to sit today while I put together all of this furniture, so I'm gonna go ahead and get that down and in place.
The summer rain that falls so slowly on the naked skin upon your back. Oh, it feels like that, like a love song on a worn out track. Yeah, it feels like that. Feels like that. Yeah, it feels like that. Na 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 na. Feels like that. Oh, it feels like that, like summer air through window cracks. Oh, it feels.
I love this rug. It's got a lot of the same colors that I'm using in her room. The soft baby pinks, it's got some white. It's the perfect size to add a little cozy touch to her room. And I will have as much as I can linked down below. I think I can link almost everything that I used for this makeover, with the exception of a couple of things that I did get from Hobby Lobby. But most everything else I should be able to link down below in the description box. Love this little nightstand. I love the scallop detail on the fronts of the drawers. It's got little gold knobs, and there's plenty of room in the drawers. They're kind of on the deeper side. Lots of storage space in those, and I just did her one nightstand because her bed is a twin, so she really just needs one nightstand. So this is the wood furniture that I picked out. I was going for like that pecan color. The dresser and the bed did not come as a set. I bought those separately, but they are from the same company, the same brand, because I've noticed with brands that sometimes their colors can be a different shade even though they're listed as the same color. A pecan color from one brand may look totally different from another brand. So I chose to stick with the same brand and get her bed and her dresser all from the same place. That way they are identical in color. And I think I'm also gonna get this same color when I do Kane's bedroom, because I want the same color of furniture in his room too. And I'm really happy with this brand, so I'm probably gonna repurchase these whenever I do his room. The brand is called Max and Lily, and it seems to be pretty good quality furniture. I did chip the dresser accidentally when I flipped it over to put the legs on. I flipped it over onto the vent and it chipped the top of the dresser. But other than that, I'm very, very happy with these. It being very light and airy in here with the pinks and the whites, I needed some furniture that could kind of pull it back in the opposite direction, balance things out, bring some warmth to the room. So that's why I chose the color that I did. I almost didn't do this, but it's an extra step that I'm really glad that I took. And I was also very, very careful and cautious because this was my first time ever changing a light fixture. But prior to doing this, I did watch a lot of videos and did tons of research on how to change one, and it was not as hard as what I was thinking. I did make sure that the power to the room was cut off. I turned it off at the breaker box, so there was no power going to this room, and it was starting to get dark outside, so I was trying to hurry and get it done before I completely lost any light, because all I had at this point was what was coming through the window. So I was trying to hurry up and get it changed, but I did mess up with this light fixture. I was supposed to do the little rattan light shade that goes around the lights. I was supposed to do that first before I mounted it to the ceiling, and I didn't. So guess what I had to do? I had to do the rattan shade after I mounted it. That was the hardest thing ever. It took me a lot longer than it should have, but happy to see that everything was working. This also has a ceiling fan. By the way, I do need to change one of the bulbs. It was blown, but the ceiling fan for this size room is perfect. It puts off a pretty good amount of air. You can also control the speed of the fan as well. But it is the very, very last day of this makeover, and today we're going to be just pulling things together. I've got some decor. Some things are from Amazon, some are from Hobby Lobby, like this adorable plate cover. I found this at Hobby Lobby. I think it was like $3.99 or $4.99. It was a pretty decent price, and it matched the rest of her room, so I went ahead and grabbed it. It didn't completely cover the whole cutout, so I didn't like that part, but it's really not too noticeable, so we're just gonna go with it. But something else that I got for her bedroom are these little floating shelves, and they just add a little bit of warmth to the room. They also have scallop details, so they kind of tie in with her nightstand as well. I am still waiting on the rest of my flowers to come in. Those still have not been attached to the wall just yet, but like I said, in the overall finished product, you guys will see the flowers actually stuck to the wall. So So as far as curtains go, I went with just a neutral color of curtain. They're like a cream color, also sheer, so they're very lightweight and airy. For the curtain rod, I'm doing gold because I am doing a little bit of gold accents in her room. We have her nightstand knobs, and then the top of her dresser will have a lamp that's gold. So I felt like a gold curtain rod would be perfect, but I'm so glad that I decided to frame around the window. I feel like that really made a big difference. Really defined the window. It added some character, and it just gave the room an overall more finished look. So I'm really glad that I decided to frame the window. And as usual, when I hang these curtains, I'm gonna take them up all the way to the edge of the molding that's at the top of the wall, just because that visually makes a huge difference versus hanging them right above the window. We don't have super tall ceilings in our home, and so hanging the curtains higher than the window, it's basically just an illusion, but it's a really great trick if you have short ceilings. This will automatically make the window look bigger, but also make your ceilings look taller. Moving on to her bed, she did keep the same mattress. Her and Kane both just got some new mattresses back in October, so they're still basically brand new, and we plan to use those for many more years to come. So I'm also reusing some sheets that she had. She had these solid light pink sheets, but I did get her a new comforter set. It's a reversible one, so on one side it's got pink and white polka dots, and then the other side is like a floral design. I wanted something light and soft, something that matched the calming vibe I was going for with the rest of her room, and I'm very, very happy with this one because it's also something she can grow with. It's not any kind of theme that she will outgrow anytime soon, and I just really love the sweetness and the simplicity of it, and we can reverse it as we want to. But I found this comforter set on Amazon, and then the throw pillows that you're going to see me add to her bed, I found both of those at Hobby Lobby. One is a flower. I thought that would go perfect in her room since we were doing the flower accent wall. And then I just got her a letter R for her name. I thought that was super cute. And then the throw blanket that I'm adding to the foot of her bed, that's a crochet blanket that I already had. It added a little bit of a cozy touch and some texture to her bed as well. Something I'm going to be adding to all of the kids' rooms as I do them are some laundry hampers. I found this one at TJ Maxx. It's got a lid. It's also got wheels on the bottom. And so I'm going to set that here in the corner by her dresser. And so now she's got a laundry hamper to put all of her dirty clothes in. I think most people set their laundry hampers in closets, but I kind of wanted to use this as part of the decor in her room. So it's decor, but it's also functional. Otherwise, it was just going to be an empty corner. I didn't want to put something useless over there like a plant or another lamp. So I decided just to leave the laundry hamper there. So I'm going to hang up the closet door really quick. I think it was taken off when they had to do the floor. So I'm hanging that back up really quick. I did have the pins for that, and it was just a matter of lining up the holes and dropping the pins in. So it was super easy, and I've still got some more decorating to do. I was just waiting on a couple more packages to come. They were going to be delivered any time now. So in the meantime, I'm going to start moving over her clothes and toys, all of her personal belongings out of the shared bedroom. So most all of her toys are in that blue container with the drawers. I did a huge toy declutter about a month ago, and we downsized a pretty good bit with the toys, and that was also her decision as well. She wanted to get rid of a lot of her toys because I think she just felt overwhelmed with the amount that she had. And so we downsized a lot, and I'm really glad that we did, because all of the toys that she has now, if it's in her closet and it's not so overwhelming that she can't enjoy her things, it's very easy to clean up as well. So I love that everything fits in her closet. Her bedroom is the smallest out of the 3 kids, but she does have the biggest closet. So she's got lots of space in there. I was even able to put her spare sheets that I keep in the container. I just stored those at the top of the closet, and not all of her clothes were hung up. That's not all the clothes she has. Some were dirty, and then sometimes she will put things that are supposed to be hung up into her drawers. So she had some things in her drawers as well. Over here on this wall, I'm creating like a little fit check moment. She's gotten to where now when she gets dressed, she likes to look at herself in the mirror. She does her own little fit check. So I found this cute little mirror on Amazon. I was going to hang that here by her closet. And then this accordion rack I'm going to hang next to the mirror. I thought that would be cute to hang little bags and hats on. For now, I just hung up her sun hat and this cute little blue dress. The little affirmation sign I also found on Amazon. I'm going to hang that next to her mirror there on the closet door. But over to the left of her window, this wall space needed a little bit of something, so I found these little wooden flowers on Amazon as well. It comes in a set of 3. They are very, very lightweight and super easy to hang. Just getting those hung up, and I think the last thing that I have left, I gotta hang up her stuffed animal hammock, and then we're gonna do her dresser top, and this room will finally be complete. Be sure to stay for all of the after shots so you can see how the room looks with everything together and finished. I really would have loved to do a big final reveal to her, but it was kind of impossible because with her being 5, she still needs me a pretty good bit during the day. And she had been in and out of the room during the whole process. So she was kind of watching it as it was happening. So I didn't get to do like a reveal or anything, but she was still so excited over her room. She has been spending so much time in here. For a while, she would sleep in my bed. She just got this thing where she was scared to sleep in her bed, even though Kane was in there. And so she was sleeping in my bed a lot with me, but now she is back in her own bed. She loves being in her own room. But yeah, I did take her stuffed animal hammock and I kind of hung it a little lower on the wall there in the corner to the left of her bed. I really couldn't find anywhere else to hang it, and she kind of needs a hammock for the amount of stuffed animals that she has. So I just hung it there to the left of her bed. That corner space needed a little something anyways, so it worked out perfect. But moving on to the top of her dresser, I got this antique looking mirror off Amazon, and then these little flower stems, I found those on Amazon, but the vase that I'm putting them in, I found that at Hobby Lobby, and also this super cute little bow lamp. It is gold, so it ties in with her curtain rod and also the mirror. It gives it that intentional look and also added a little pop of glam to the room. With her being 5, she's not exactly a baby anymore. She's a little girl. And so adding the little pops of gold felt like adding a little princess vibe to the room. It made the room feel very dreamy, and it's also timeless to add gold accents. That's something that'll grow with her. But paired with that soft baby pink, it just really added a dreamy vibe to the room. But her room is now all finished, so I'm just going to wipe down the mirrors. I'm going to go ahead and vacuum the floor as well, and we will be ready to jump into the after shots. Not going to be talking over the after shots. I'm just going to let y'all enjoy seeing those, but I appreciate you guys for being here and watching this video. I know it's been a long time coming, and I'm glad that I finally got around to getting that done, and she now has her own room. So next we'll be getting into Kane's room. I do want to allow myself a little bit of time to rest and recharge after this one, because I powered through every single day for 2 weeks to get this done. So I'm going to rest up for a little bit, and we'll go ahead and hop into the next bedroom. I am so excited to get started in their rooms. They're excited as well. Thank you guys so much for being here. Remember to leave a butterfly in the comments before you go, and I will see you guys in the next one.